So this week we're doing the ladies survey. My favorite female YouTubers. Well, my favorite female YouTuber is Vi Hart. My favorite female athlete, when I was a kid, it was always Mia Hamm, who is a soccer player. She was a player for the U.S. Olympic team. Now, I guess maybe like Maria Sharapova. My favorite book written by a female with a female protagonist is Inkheart by Cornelia Funk. It's one of my favorite books that got me first interested in reading, and I really like it. My favorite film written by a female with a female protagonist is Mulan. My favorite female fictional character. That's a close tie between Hermione Granger and Luna Lovegood. I don't know. I can't pick one. The biggest problem facing female content creators is probably still just the fact that they aren't taken quite as seriously by a lot of people as male content creators. Not so much on YouTube, but definitely in other creative media like TV and music and art. They just aren't taken seriously. The traditional role of women in American society is sort of to stay at home and take care of the children and do all the housework and clean things, and to not really be educated or earn money or have a job, and to sort of just be stereotypically feminine. Yeah. In the last several decades, that has changed sort of more quickly. It has been gradually changing for probably a while, and it's gotten more quickly in the last few decades, but it's still, like, the gender gap is still there. It's just less now, and there are more opportunities for women than there used to be, but there is still a little bit of a gap and like an ingrained sort of discrimination and traditional idea of what each gender should be. I think that YouTube and just the internet thing is hospitable for women to be a part of that than like television and sort of more traditional media. I think this is probably because the people who use the internet are young and they're sort of innovative people, so they tend to have more innovative worldviews also, which, means less discrimination against women and less gender role like stereotypes and stuff. And also, just specifically in television, the industry is dominated by men, and it traditionally has been, at least in America, and it continues to be that way mostly, and I don't think that's really going to change, because whoever's in charge of producing the television controls what gets produced, and it just doesn't change a lot, because that person in control is generally male, and so they don't really support female sort of feministic stuff, and so that doesn't come in, and then the next generation of television makers and filmmakers is still the same. Also, the internet is just much less controlled than TV is. Like, it's actually free speech, and it's free. I mean, like money-wise. So anyone can speak, not just what the producers choose to show on TV. It's, anything that someone feels should be heard. What would I pledge to do? I guess I pledge just to not judge people or discriminate against them on the basis of their gender or their various level of conforming to what that gender is supposed to be traditionally, because the traditional ideas of each gender are not what everyone is, and people shouldn't be limited to that, and I don't want to contribute to that, and I guess I also would pledge to sort of not support people who are biased and do discriminate against people for their gender identity, whether that's just the fact that they are female or the fact that they aren't a traditional female or whatever. A story about women is a story of my mom. She grew up in the southern U.S., which is generally kind of more traditional, with sort of less progressive values than the northern U.S., and so even at the time when she grew up, it was still, women really did not go and get jobs or go to college or anything. They got married and were pretty much housewives mostly. So, but what my mom did is she decided to go to college anyway. She'd known for a long time that she wanted to go to college, so she could get a better job and a better life for herself. It's kind of like the American dream. So she was the only woman in her graduating class to go to college. So from her entire high school, she was the only woman who went to college. And then, so she got her bachelor's degree from the State University in Oklahoma, and it's in zoology. And then she went on to get a master's degree, and then she got a doctorate, and now she's a professor. Recently she became a full professor, which means that she's worked at the same college for over 10 years. And so the point of this is that less than 10% of full professors in science are women. I think that percentage will go up over time, but it's still kind of surprising that the really, really large majority of professors are men, and so the point of this is that she could very easily have just not gone to college at all, but instead she went to undergraduate college, and then to a master's degree program, and then she got a doctorate. And in the society that she grew up in, it was not normal for her to do that, and that's just kind of sad. I don't know, but I guess it's not sad because that's not what she did. Anyway, the words of the week are woman and man. So in Slovak, woman is žena and man is muž.